Welcome, sports fans, to the most unfiltered, unapologetic, and downright outrageous sports podcast on the airwaves. Get ready to dive headfirst into the world of hard hits, jaw-dropping plays, and the kind of commentary that would make your grandma blush. So grab your jerseys, crack open a cold one, and join the Fired Up family, where the passion for sports meets the unpredictability of live radio. This is Fired Up Sports Radio. And now your hosts, Joe, Billy, and Jeff.
Welcome to the show. Today is Wednesday, December 20th. The NFC least is back. Jerseys full of greedy Goombas. NFL isn't just black and white. And the only thing I really give a shit about is Sunday, is whether the lobster tails are cold or warm weather. It's really all I care about. That's all I care. Welcome back, gents.
I love Saturday football. Once NFL is on Saturdays, this is the best time of the year. Like, it's NFL Saturday football, and then you get it Thursday, you get it Saturday, you get it Sunday, you get it Monday,
and you get the bowl games mixed in too.
Yeah. You do.
It's a fun time of the year if you're a football fan. It really is.
I gotta agree with you, Joe. The Sunday meal.
Listen. I'll be honest with you. This is the one Sunday of the year. It happens to fall on a Sunday, but this Sunday I could give two shits about football. Okay, give me my favorite holiday of the year, Christmas Eve, and give me all the fish. I give it every. We'll get into this in a little bit, but bring it all to me. I'm all for it.
I don't eat any of it. I don't eat fish.
You should be banned. You should be banned from this show.
I'm a carnivore.
You should be banned from this show.
I'm a carnivore. I don't steak, meat. I like meat.
So what's your go-to Christmas Eve then? If it's not like I need these answer now, Joe. I
My
can't
fault
wait.
is Stromboli.
Oh, my man.
Listen. That's like the outlier here. Like you know, obviously that's a staple in the Squirrel household. But it's like, no, I need
Stromboli. My grandmother. She used to make it was spaghetti. Then I forgot what else. I mean, there's just always food. Like, Christmas Day is when you do like the ham and stuff like that. But we've been doing prime rib recently, so I mean that's.
Yeah, the prime rib is big with my brother. I usually go to my brother's house, so he's the big. You know, he thinks he's like Gordon Ramsay
down the table.
Ramsay.
He thinks
don't need it.
Now, son, listen, I will take Christmas Eve over any holiday. It's Christmas Eve then Thanksgiving. That's
I'm with you.
That's
I'm pretty much. I can do either or. Like it doesn't.
But for different reasons, obviously, Jeff. Because I'm there for the fish.
I don't care for that.
But like, does your family do the fish?
Yeah, I just don't.
You just don't eat it?
No. I had an Italian grandmother, dude. Like, I mean, come on.
See, now
you weren't like not allowed to. Like, you had to.
We're all talking about the Italian in us. Here's the big question, because this has been a debate in my house since I married an Irish woman.
Oh boy.
Holiday dinner. Do you have macaroni before your holiday dinner?
Yes.
So when I go to Grandma's house on Sunday, the antipasto will already be on the table. From there, she moves into soup. So my grandmother makes an insane chicken meatball and scuttle soup. From there, she'll move to linguine and clam sauce and lasagna. So you have your choice of two, and then she comes out with every fish that swims in the fucking ocean.
I love this woman already.
Listen, she's 91. She's usually as sharp as a tack. She's lost a couple of steps. And I'm praying, like a couple of years ago, one of my favorite stories to tell is one of the first few Christmas Eves that I brought my now wife to the house. My grandmother decided to go shopping, and instead of picking up linguine, she picked up Chinese rice noodles. And it was the most slimiest thing in the world to eat. It was just unedible. But she made it up with an intense amount of fried bacala because she knows that's my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
But no, on Christmas Day when you go to your brother's, you have your prime rib. before the prime rib is there macaroni on the table.
100%. My brother makes
Yes.
homemade pasta.
Yeah,
Always.
you have to.
It's an Italian household. The
Yeah.
pasta is always.
I have to get into this with my mother and my mother-in-law, my wife and my mother-in-law every year. I'm like, no,
Billy,
it's at my house. Even though Christmas Day is my birthday, I am making baked ziti.
What are you, Jesus?
Exactly. It's the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. You've never seen them in the same room. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. You've never seen.
And he's wearing white.
The savior has come
It's a
to.
good look,
Yeah, no,
Billy.
I'm making baked ziti to have before my spiral ham because it needs to be there in my
You
eyes.
see, you could lose me with the spiral ham. The ham is one
Yeah, I'm
thing.
not a ham guy either. Yeah.
I can't do it. My wife's family makes it. To me, that is an Irish thing. I don't know what it is. That's the whitest food in America, and I'm white. But listen, ham, you could lose me on all counts. I have nothing for it. Like zero. No spiral, no honey, none of that. Just lose the ham.
Breaking news: Joe just confirmed Rashad Mendenhall does not eat spiral ham because it is too white.
Well, there's your transition for the day.
What a wild tweet that guy sent out. Wild.
But my thing is
That's CTE, man. First of all, who even knew he still existed?
well, yeah, I don't think many people didn't know he existed when he played for the Steelers. But
No.
my thing, it's just dude.
But what he said was he came out and he said I was at the top of my game, and then you go look at his stats. Yeah, dude, you had one good year,
Yeah,
and you had probably the most famous fumble in Steeler history.
It's just it's wild, the the clickbait that just comes out.
Yeah,
Some people just, I guess they just really need to
they need
feel
attention.
relevant.
They need attention, but nobody remembers who he is. The last good, Steeler running back that we remember is Le'Veon Bell, not him. I
Right.
honestly totally forgot about him until he tweeted. And I was like,
I'm with you.
yes, this guy forgot about him.
100%.
Yeah, but I remembered
absolutely.
afterwards. I was like, I think I drafted him once or twice, but
Yeah, probably.
But you know what my favorite part is when someone comes out and they make these insanely, wildly outlandish tweets, right? Especially when it's of racial background, and someone that shares their racial profile comes out and says you're being insanely divisive. And shout out to Ryan Clark because Will Compton came out and with
best
an
response ever, man. He had it down. He has his team ready.
He had it ready to go, and he was like, "All right, we're gonna play four under, 4 over. We don't have the speed to match up." He broke the whole game down. But
And
Ryan
honestly,
Clark,
here we go. If we're gonna go coaching staff too, that's fine because we get Belichick. We could take McDaniel and make him the offensive coordinator. You have Mike Tomlin. Enjoy that. Although he is a Hall of Fame coach, but I don't think he has it anymore. But yeah, that's fine. We could do that too. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah,
we'll
so
take the coaches too.
Why
It
are we
was so-
taking Josh McDaniels? We're bringing McVay.
No.
Well,
Mike
Mc-
McDaniel.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, my boy.
Get McVay in there.
No.
No, but it was just
They'll be in there. Shanahan. We're gonna get the whole crew in there.
and it's crazy. So Ryan Clark, I just want to read his tweet. He goes, "How about we just keep ball how it is? It takes all kinds to make a team. That's the beauty of a locker room. I'm glad playing in Washington allowed me to get to know a white undrafted free agent linebacker from Nebraska named Will Compton. Rashad Mendenhall is way off and unnecessarily divisive here," which I completely agree. Guys, listen, not everything, and this might be our highest rated show ever because someone's going to take it the wrong way. Not everything is about race. It's just not, and it's getting to be where certain people just want to make things about race just to make themselves feel relevant. And it's getting, and it's for both sides. I'm not singling, but it's just, at some point, it's got to stop.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer, and I will call me whatever you want. To the day I die, the hill I will die on, racism is taught. It is not embedded in you. You go to a playground with a bunch of kids. Those kids do not see color. They play with each other. Mm-hmm. Racism is taught. Until you stop teaching racism, that will never end. Bottom line, end of story.
You know what the crazy thing is? The last line of his tweet, Mendenhall's, "I'm better than your GOAT." And you know who was somebody that answered this back and did it totally lighthearted?
J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt. And you're not, nobody in America, Stevie Wonder's not going to come and tell me that Rashad Mendenhall can hold a candle to J.J. Watt. And J.J. Watt was great. He goes, "We'd get cooked at corner. I'm not going to lie. Nobody on our squad's covering Tyreek."
Yeah, no. But it's not even that.
And he laughed it off. And
yeah,
J.J.
it's not
Watt
even that.
It's totally cool.
You're not, like, I mean.
Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
First of all, my GOAT is Tom Brady. That's who it is. And I hate using that fucking word, GOAT, but he is. The guy's probably the best football player we've watched. In my opinion, I think he's done enough where he can call himself whatever he wants. But if I had to start a team, I am in their prime, everyone in their prime, I'm not taking Mendenhall maybe at all.
Yeah, I don't think
he's... So for you to come out and say that and be that arrogant, I'm telling you, man, it's definitely some CTE going on there because that's not normal. That's not normal for him to come out. Like, that's just so dumb.
But
like,
guys, can I ask you a question? So he played running back, right? Would he even make the All-Black team?
No, he wouldn't be close.
Not at all.
Emmett Smith,
they wouldn't
Emmett Smith, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson. That's just 5.
But Joe, that's all time. He wouldn't crack the team in his prime.
He wouldn't crack the team, today's team. You're talking about an average team carries 4 to 5 running backs.
Not to mention the best running back is Christian McCaffrey.
He's not making my top 4 to 5 black running backs playing right now today, let alone all time.
Yeah, it's wild.
I wouldn't take him on the Dolphins. I'm taking Mostert and Achane. I'm not taking him.
I take the 2 black running backs on the Steelers over him. On his own team, he wouldn't even make it out of his own organization.
It's just like I said, it's not to say I hope it's CTE related, but I'm hoping that
just the signs are there.
There's something like that. Hey, this is just, I don't know. It was just completely unnecessary. Listen, it gave for great reading because X blew up, and it was just
I still call it Twitter. So.
Yeah, I just felt dirty calling it X just now. It's just
call
whatever.
Twitter. But it's always gonna be Twitter. That's
yeah, it is.
I'm never calling it X. That's just so dumb. That's so dumb.
Listen, I get it. Twitter. Whatever. It is what it is.
There's only one thing he accomplished here today. He got more people talking about the Pro Bowl that probably have in the last decade combined.
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about, but so many people came out about the whole, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Pro Bowl this year is going back to a flag football format. And
that's all right, because the Olympics are going to go that route anyway, so might as well get the boys ready.
Exactly. So when they said that, Chad Ochocinco actually was like, "Hey, how about we have since it's flag football, and we're not tackling anyone, why don't we get old school versus new school?" And Tom Brady chimed in and was like, "You give me, Chad Ochocinco and Randy Moss." He goes, "I'm cooking everybody." He goes, "So just whatever." And, and that was a fun way. Like, Ochocinco didn't come out and like, "Yo, give me, all my black compadres, and, we're going to go against, all the white guys." Like, he didn't go that route. So, like, again, it was unnecessarily racist, making it racist or racism, whatever, He was trying to make it a racist thing, and it's just not. And not everything is about race. At the end of the day, it takes an army to field a football team. You're going to have all races, creeds, everything. You have Samoans, you have whites, you have blacks, you have Spanish, you have everything. You know what I'm saying? You have coup. You have a kicker, you have an Asian. So you have a little mix of everything in every locker room, and that's it takes that to win. But yeah,
I didn't even know this guy was he was an author, so he was like a writer for HuffPost. Did you know that?
Yeah. I could tell you why I unsubscribed to Huffington Post.
Yeah.
They're not very good.
No.
No.
Neither was Rashad Mendenhall.
Touche.
There's a lot of things that aren't good, and to get into football, I mean, there was some bad
The NFL least.
fucking playing this week.
The NFC least is back, baby.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't. After last night's game, was it last night? I don't fear the Eagles at all. I don't think they're very good.
No, I think. Listen,
He was sick. I get it. He's sick.
forget about the sick part. That stretch of games,
They don't
Jeff,
scare me
were
one
bad.
bit.
That was a fucked up part of their schedule. That was a really fucked up part of
You
their schedule.
can't let Drew Lock beat you. I don't care if
I get it.
have the flu, if you have diarrhea. I don't care. You cannot let Drew Lock beat you. You just can't.
But then that's on the coach. That you got to let Mariota come in. Maybe after all, maybe
Derek Carr was right.
Derek Carr was right.
No, he's
David
not.
Carr.
He's still
David
an
Carr,
idiot.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Maybe he was right.
Still an idiot.
Maybe you got to bring him in and let.
Yeah, if Hurst can't throw the goddamn ball, like he was too sick, the guy had like no fluids. So yeah, I get that part, but their defense has been very bad. Like that whole last drive.
That whole last drive was they picked on one guy.
It was horrible.
One guy. That was it.
Yeah.
The whole drive.
Terrible. It was absolutely terrible. That's what I'm saying.
Brad-
They don't scare me.
Bradbury. They went after him. Bradbury gave up every pass on that 92-yard drive at the end.
Yeah.
Every pass.
I got to be honest with you. Jeff said a minute ago, he used the word fear. I don't fear them. And you shouldn't. There's only two things right now, I think, in the entire NFL that should be feared. Playing the 49ers and playing the Dolphins in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there is nothing to be feared right now.
Well,
every single team is out there showing at any given week the inconsistency and the incomplete rosters on almost every team, not named the San Francisco 49ers.
I will say there is one team that if they get in, you don't want to face. And every year it's the same story with them, but if they get in, it could be trouble. It's the Bills. If they get it, and just so, if you look at the end of their schedule, that last game of the season against Miami in Miami could very well be for the East,
division,
the AFC East. It very well could be. The shitty part about this all is if you look at the Dolphins, the Ravens, that way they're the end of their schedule, and then you look at the Chiefs. Somehow,
The Chiefs are the favorite to win it.
how do they do it every year? Every friggin' year they do it.
Well,
How does this keep happening? So their last three games are against. Well, their last game of the season is against Easton Stick. They have the Raiders. They have the Chargers, and I forgot what the other team was. But it's like I'm not gonna say guaranteed win because nothing's guaranteed in football. We all know that. But this is how do they do it? They're gonna be the top seed. They are. Like I wanted to see how Mahomes was gonna play, on the road in the playoffs. Now we might not know.
But you know what the thing is?
So annoying.
But the difference between last year or the years past and this year is they're nothing to be feared even at home right now. If you take Kelsey out of the game, you're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's been proven 5 times now this year.
Yeah, I think. Listen, Jeff, they were
home.
showing.
I mean, you can take them out all you want, but it's like, how do they keep getting this? Like, how do they keep doing this?
Well, they were showing.
It's a hard place to play, Kansas City. It's not an easy place for a visiting team to come in and win. It's just not.
So Sunday night they were showing the statistics basically because the Ravens played the Jaguars Sunday night. The Ravens desperately needed to win that game, which they did, because if they didn't, then that gave the Chiefs over almost a 60% chance of winning the AFC. Listen, I think truthfully, the AFC is going to come down to the game between the Ravens and your boys in 2 weeks. If the Ravens can win that game, I think they hold on to the number 1 seed, and the road to the Super Bowl goes through Baltimore. And listen, guys, it shouldn't be a surprise. Look at the NFL logo for the Super Bowl. It's purple and red. No shit. They are predicting it to be.
I'm not really a big believer in that.
Listen, it's been the last 4 years.
I don't know.
It's been the last.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Listen, will you believe it when it's the 49ers and the Ravens this year in the Super Bowl?
Yes. But
because
I don't believe it.
Because
you got to remember, the Ravens have. All right, so Lamar is a solid, extremely solid, regular season quarterback. Something happens when he hits the playoffs, and I mean, I'm just waiting for it to happen again. That's all. But I do agree that I think, we have the fraud off coming up this weekend.
Yes.
Which is the Dolphins-Cowboys. Loser, it should be a loser leaves town match. That's how I'm going to call it, because if you lose, you're the fraud, and I probably won't believe in you anymore for this year. But that's what it is. This is a fraud off coming on. But if Miami can find a way to win 2 out of the last 3, so let's say win against Dallas, win against Buffalo, they'll keep the 2 seed, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I think they would keep the 2 seed if they win 2 out of 3. I'm okay with that, but I really truly think that if Miami gets that top seed, that's hard to play. That's a hard place to play.
I just think the difference between
they're very good at home.
No, they are. They're very good at home, and so is and Billy. I'm actually surprised you didn't mention it. Dallas is very good at home.
Yeah,
like that's something that should be feared, but there's no chance of them happening.
And that's the good thing about Miami playing Dallas is they're in Miami.
Correct.
Dallas is a completely, and I said to you guys during the game, I was texting, this is a totally away from home. Dallas, they don't scare me. They are not a good team away from home.
It's so bad. Weird. It's so weird. But my thing is this: I think the difference to your point, Jeff, about the Ravens. I think in years past, Lamar Jackson has felt like he's had to
he didn't have
carry the load a lot more. Obviously he lost Mark Andrews. Harbaugh came out and said that there's
likely just stepped right into that, just right in.
Yeah, but they said that there's an outside chance that Andrews could be back for the playoffs, and if they get that first round bye, that's big because it gives them an extra week to get ready. But he's got weapons. Odell Beckham is looking good. Zay Flowers. Bateman likely. They have that trio of running backs. Like he's looking like. I'll be honest with you. He looks like the MVP.
Hurt. He's done for the year.
I didn't. Who? Which one?
Mitchell.
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. He got carted off.
Okay.
I only know that because he was on my team.
I fell asleep during the game, so I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Sunday was a rough day for me. It was a rough weekend.
Is it still rough right now?
Oh, it's terrible. I feel like friggin' Tyson is jabbing my kidneys right now.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
The dick.
Yeah, but Joe, I had told you this weeks ago, and I'm going to stand by it. I'm not going to be scared or say anything of Dallas till they win a playoff game. Because to me, they're always good. They'll get to the dance, and they shit the bed when they get there. And until I see them do something different, that's going to be. And this year, that's what they're doing. They went out there and played 3 games in a row where everybody was like, "Yo, the Cowboys look legit. The Cowboys. And then what did they do this week? Went out there and shit the bed. But they did not. There's not one aspect of that game Sunday that they played well at all.
No,
from walking out the tunnel.
But they don't have to do much because I was looking at it today. Right, we are going to assume the 49ers remain the number 1 seed. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All the Dallas Cowboys have to do is get into that 2nd seed because they're going to get a home game round 1, which presumably they're going to win. If they win that game, they're going to get one of a matchup with either the Saints, the Rams, the Falcons, the Seahawks. They're possibly the Lions, and it's going to be home again. Okay? So my thing is this, is now they are two. So essentially, if they could get themselves into the 2 seed, okay, they're only 1 game away from the Super Bowl. Yes, it's going to be in San Francisco, but it allows for a little bit of momentum. It allows for something. Eventually, guys, something's got to click for the Dallas Cowboys on the road. So you hope that 2 home games in the playoffs and avoiding San Francisco, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be a wild card team. They have to chase down the Philadelphia Eagles and win that division. They have to.
It's definitely winnable to get there, especially if they could somehow avoid ever having to play the Eagles. It's possible. The thing is, and I'll say it right now, as long as the 49ers stay healthy, there is 0 shot the Cowboys are going into San Francisco in the NFC Championship game and beating the 49ers.
You got it
right now. Beating the 49ers. Man.
No, right, and right now, just so to be clear, currently, as you know, going into this week, San Francisco is the 1 seed, Dallas is the 2 seed, Detroit is the 3 seed. The surprise Tampa Bay Bucks, and probably the most underrated quarterback in football right now, in Baker Mayfield.
Well, someone from the NFC South has to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, Baker is playing insane.
He's playing good. I mean, he's top 3, I think, or top 3 for a comeback player of the year. So I mean, he's having a good year.
Listen, the one team, Jeff, like you said, that you don't want to see in the playoffs right now, for me, is the 7 seed currently in the NFC, and that is the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
Right? That team, I would not want to.
Stafford. I mean,
Stafford is playing really, really good. That defense is starting to get, a little bit more cohesive.
And got Williams back.
Williams, he's been running out the door, and you still got that tandem of Kupp and Puka Nacua.
Higbee at tight end. I mean, yeah, they definitely have.
They got a solid squad there.
I mean, Sean McVay proved the argument this year of why you don't pay running backs by taking Kyron Williams and turning him into, he's basically production-wise a top 5 offensive player in the NFL this year.
It's sick. All right, guys, so we are obviously more than 3/4 of the way through the NFL season. Right now, so I'm a little rapid fire to you guys. Right now, NFL Coach of the Year, who are you guys giving it to? I think there's 2.
I might give it to my boy in Houston. He's having a really, considering they were supposed to be one of the worst teams.
He is definitely one of them.
He's up there.
I mean,
for me, it's going to be Stefanski.
Yeah.
Stefanski.
What he's done with what he's had to deal. Yeah, Stefanski's up there.
Stefanski with
He's got to be up there.
4 quarterbacks that have played this year.
Losing Nick Chubb.
DeMeco,
all your quarterbacks.
DeMeco Ryan.
Joe Flacco off the couch 2 weeks ago. Literally, he was watching football on the couch, and now he's another one. He's behind Damar Hamlin. He's comeback player of the year now. After last week, he jumps up. He's number 2 in the odds now.
That's crazy.
But
sick.
I gotta mention another guy too, Joe, and Shane Steichen has to be in the conversation.
Another one.
Yeah. I mean, you lost your number 1 draft pick, who was out there playing great. Was all the talk for Rookie of the Year till he went down, and then you're out there with Gardner Minshew, and you're still in the playoff hunt. You're the 7th seed right now.
Yeah, for me also the other one that I would consider right now is Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. He's doing a great job. There's a lot of good coaching going on this NFL season, and it definitely a lot of deserving candidates.
Absolutely. And you know what it is? The biggest here it goes into, exactly what I've been saying. The good coaching candidates, every one we just mentioned right there, with the exception of DeMeco Ryans, has had to play and help develop a backup quarterback. The latest one went out there last night. Drew Lock went out there and beat the Philadelphia Eagles last night.
Yeah, not for nothing though. Like, I'm curious if there's going to be an investigation into that game. Okay, listen, there is no surprise that gambling is a huge part of sports and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is it 15 minutes before the game, you still don't know who the starting quarterback for the team is? Excuse me. You had both Drew Lock and Geno Smith, okay, dressed in pads. If Geno Smith is dressed in pads, he should be playing that game. If you had no intention of starting him, why is he dressed in pads?
I agree with you.
Something was super fishy last night. Especially, I know Vegas wasn't happy because had they known Drew Lock was starting, I'm sure that would have affected the line. I think the line went off at -4, 4.5, which was irrelevant anyway because Seattle went on to win the game anyway. But my thing is that for some reason, again, you're talking about 15 minutes before a game, and you don't know who the starter is, and that shouldn't be allowed. I'm sorry, there's no way that should be acceptable.
No, you're right, but it's also like, I haven't seen anything or heard anything about like, did something happen in that time? Did he dress and re-injure himself, or dress and be like, I can't do it, like I don't feel right? Like, did something go on there? And I haven't seen any of that. From everything I've seen, it was exactly what you said. They went out there both dressed, warmed up, and they said, all right, we're going to go with Drew, which to me makes no sense whatsoever. As you said, Geno dresses, Geno plays unless something happened.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk of it in the pregame show and whatnot. It was just something definitely didn't jive. But is what it is. But yeah, to your point, Billy, this year has been the year of the backup quarterback. When we go back in the the history books and we look at the 2023 NFL season, it's going to be all about the backup quarterback. Almost more than 70% of the teams has started a backup quarterback this year.
55 different quarterbacks have started games this year.
That's wild.
17 of the 32 teams have used multiple starting quarterbacks this year. The Browns have started 4. The Cardinals, Giants, Jets, Raiders, and Vikings have all started 3. Josh Dobbs was one of the starters for the Cardinals and the Vikings. Joe Flacco is off his couch right now, playing quarterback, leading a team that's currently the 5 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, it's just crazy. They just sit there and and some have been super productive, some have not been productive. And some have led their team to. Some have put their team into the playoff race.
It's crazy. You go outside the top 4 seeds in each conference. In the AFC, you got Joe Flacco, Jake Browning, and Gardner Minshew leading teams that are in the playoffs right now. And in the NFC, you got Nick Mullins and Baker Mayfield in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's definitely it's crazy. I mean, just listen. The quarterback position in the NFL is a wild one. It's just you sit there and you just look at it and listen. There's a reason why they say it's the hardest position in football to play, right? It's actually probably the hardest position in sports to play. I don't know. Did you mention Jake Browning?
Met fan, I can see.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
That's the hardest position.
So listen, but listen. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers just sitting outside of the playoffs, right? They have a backup quarter, Mitchell Trubisky. You have the Las Vegas Raiders, 1 game out of the playoff or 2 games out of the playoff on backup quarterback. Beyond that, then that's all. Chargers aren't eliminated, but they might as well be. Tennessee, Jets, and Patriots all eliminated already. Then in the NFC. Seattle, depending on who's their quarterback week to week, could be a backup. Saints seem to be going back to Carr. Falcons went back to Ritter. You have everyone's favorite, Paisan, which we're going to get into in a little bit. Tommy DeVito. Their playoff chances took a little bit of a hit this week.
But by the way, Ritter's benched now. I don't know if you know that.
Oh,
they benched.
They're going back to Heineke.
Back to Heineke.
So there's another backup.
Taylor.
I'll never understand.
I don't know why they didn't go back to him and just let him go. Like, I don't know if Arthur Smith's gonna. I mean, they said he's gonna come back, barring a absolute collapse. So this is him trying to save his job, I think.
Well,
Ritter sucks. He is just terrible. He's so bad.
Well,
he sucks.
I'm glad you mentioned collapse. I do want to wish the New York Giants a very happy anniversary because this day 13 years ago, everyone's Christmas got ruined with the miracle at the Meadowlands.
Oh, yeah, I was there. I don't need to hear about this. We don't need
where one of the most boneheaded plays in NFL history, a punt return by Deshaun Jackson,
and
the rest is history.
When that happened,
I was
in their living room and I was just getting ready to leave.
I
saw that. I was like, I'm not leaving yet. Hang on.
I was celebrating Festivus. I had a few
stanza.
I had a few grievances to air at the end of that game.
I'm not a Seinfeld guy.
Neither am I, but
I do like Curb for some reason. I don't know. It's like the same. I don't know.
See, I don't like either. But
I'm a Seinfeld guy. Curb is very funny.
A big shout out to a teammate of mine, Bruce Birdman, who got me hooked on Festivus. It was actually quite funny. Started out as a joke, but Festivus for the rest of us.
But I gotta be honest with you, and I love you guys' opinion on this. Watching what's going on in the NFL this year, like I said, I just gave you the numbers. 54 different quarterbacks, 55 different quarterbacks have started. 17 teams have started multiple quarterbacks.
Did you use us? Did you say use?
What?
When I asked you use something. Did you use us?
The 2 U's?
You did, didn't you?
I did. But is it time to rethink how much money you're giving quarterbacks when you have guys like Gardner Minshew and Jake Browning and Joe Flacco coming in and winning games? Is it time to start the next time a quarterback's looking for 40, 50, maybe even some eventually going to get to 60 million a year if it doesn't stop? Is it time to start rethinking that? Because there's teams out there now winning games without paying these guys like that.
No, I'll always pay a quarterback because the quarterback, at the end of the day, the quarterback's the guy that get you there. Like, that's the guy. And if you look back, most of these Super Bowls are your franchise quarterback guys. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like hired guns other than Tom Brady, but he's in a league of his own. But the Joe Burrows of the world, the Patrick Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna pay those guys because they're worth it. They're the ones that they're the ones that are gonna get you there. The guys that don't know how to keep a quarterback and develop it. So let's go down the list. The Jets, they got nothing. Like, they can't develop a quarterback if their life depended on it. You have, after Matt Ryan, the Falcons haven't done anything. The Jaguars did really nothing until Trevor Lawrence.
And I still
the Bengals and Burrow like this is where the Dolphins and Tua, same thing. Although I think this has more to do with like Tyreek and McDaniel, but it's nonetheless like you need that guy.
I don't disagree with it, but I think there's an interesting conversation to have that if you took 35 of that 40 million or 30 of the 40 million and reallocated that to your offensive line, your wide receivers, your defense, that you could put a Gardner Minshew in there and possibly win football games.
It's all
and
dependent on the quarterback selfishness. You know what I mean? Like Mahomes is taking so much money, and then he's like, "Why does my team suck? Why can't I? Why do my receivers? Because you have all the fucking money, guy.
Exactly.
Like that's why."
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should get paid. They should be the one of the highest paid players on their teams because everything does run through them. It's not my opinion on it. It's just unfortunately the fact of the matter. Like that's just people always overpay for a good quarterback. But if
it's like,
you like Tom Brady did the best, and I'll keep bringing him up because the guy's the best. He took one. I mean, granted, he does have a wife that made more money than him, but $1 million a year. He took everything else in like a signing bonus. Like that's basically how he did it. But he did $1 million a year. Build a team around me. Same thing with Ohtani. $2 million. Give me $2 million a year. Build a team around me. Like that's what you need. You need.
yeah. And
Ultimately, it's going to come down. Yeah. Ultimately, it's going to come down to: do you want to win a championship or do you want to cash out? That's really what's.
Quarterback's usually the last. I should say, always the last person who has the ball in the biggest game with, you know what I mean, with no time.
I mean,
it's
the
always
Chiefs,
the quarterback. That's the guy that wins you, or that's the guy that loses you the game.
The Chiefs dynasty was built on Mahomes' rookie contract. Let's be real. That's what allowed them to keep Tyreek as long as they did. That's what allowed them to pay Kelsey. That's what allowed
Brock
them to
Purdy,
do.
another one. Paying him.
I was just going to get to that. Brock Purdy on his rookie deal now. That's why you still have. That's why you have McCaffrey. That's why you have Kittle still, Debo still, Ayuk still. You have these weapons.
So I'll make you laugh. Dad, when you're done.
You have these weapons because of the fact that you have the quarterback making less money. If Brock Purdy goes in there and gets, I'm not going to go near Mahomes level, but if he gets a Dak contract, you're losing 2 of those 4 weapons.
You're losing more than that, I will tell you right now, because I am
the
big.
Bengals are screwed next year. No T. Higgins.
Yeah, so I'm a big NFL Madden player, right? So I was like, screw it. I'm going to start a franchise with the San Francisco 49ers. And we went through the whole season, win the Super Bowl. Now, when you go to re-sign your players, they were negative $78 million.
Yeah. Yep.
I lost my starting safeties. I lost some D tackles. I lost some O tackles. You're going to see a lot of restructuring of contracts next year.
To me, just create a new player, Joe. Just create a new guy and give him nothing. Just create a player.
Fine. But it's just to your point is that that contract only goes so far before it before whatchamacall, before it pays dividend. It either works for you or works against you. In this case, it's working for the 49ers. But once it gets to that point where they sign that contract, Billy, like you said, that's when now that's when the GMs earn their money. It's because now that's when you're starting to get creative. It's just. I
mean, and that's why everybody's still saying now for the Giants to go out and draft a quarterback this year, because barring a miracle that has been unheard of on the planet Earth, Daniel Jones is not going to have a resurgence, and they're going to want to keep him for the last 2 years of that deal. They're stuck with that money next year. They can afford to keep that money there with a quarterback on a rookie deal. And then when Jones is gone, the Giants can bring in. Like, it wouldn't shock me in 2 years to see a Brandon Ayuk or a Stephon Diggs on the Giants when the Jones money is gone, and now you got a quarterback on a rookie deal, and they can bring those weapons in.
And both of those guys are like 3 years past their prime, which just sounds right about when the Giants like to bring players in.
Sadly, yes.
So, speaking now that we're on the Giants, let's talk about everyone's favorite Goomba. Okay, Mr. Tommy DeVito himself. So, apparently being an NFL quarterback or an NFL backup quarterback nowadays doesn't pay that much. But his sleazy slimeball agent decided to screw over a pizzeria in New Jersey and double up his appearance fee, causing the pizzeria to have to cancel Mr. DeVito's signing, and it's causing a little headway in the wonderful state of, I don't say wonderful state, the state of New Jersey. So apparently he was charging $10,000 to show up to the pizzeria just to, shake some hands, sign some autographs. And his agent decided, based on the recent success and everything, to pump that up to $20,000. And the pizzeria turned around and said, we're going to have to decline because can't afford it. $20,000 is a lot of money. And there's no way they were making that back in one day. That's just, whatever. What are your thoughts on someone like him? Is that a good move considering you're in a New York market? I feel like you're going to get eaten alive when you do something stupid like that.
I'm going to defend my brethren. I'm going to defend my, us Italians have to stick together. I think it's bullshit. I don't think it's a true story. These are not facts. These are all hearsay.
No, we have tweets.
I know, guys. It's let's calm down. It's okay to joke around once in a while.
Yeah.
Jesus. So the only thing I could do, when I saw this, apparently his now famous agent came out and said,
former agent,
nothing signed. There was nothing. That's all he kept saying. There was no contract. No, he didn't sign anything. So it's definitely sleazy to do that, and just understand. This is, like I said, this is insanity. You're only going to get a couple weeks of this. I don't think he's very good. I don't think he'll sustain this. They're going to get a quarterback after this. That guy might be, at best, a pretty decent backup. So try not to burn your bridges and try not to be too full of yourself because you're really not that good.
Listen, the fact that someone was willing to...
So, I'm going to let him do what he's got to do.
Listen, of course, but someone was willing to pay you $10,000 to show up when you're making $44,000.
Still living at home.
Still living at home is wild that you would even attempt, and it's in within driving distance of your house.
See, but here's the thing, though. Here's what it was. Apparently, the owner of the pizzeria says that last Tuesday, after the Packer win, that Sean Stellato called and said it's $20,000 now, and they canceled it. But Tommy DeVito, being the good kid that he actually is, showed up there today unannounced, for free, no nothing, and made good on the appearance.
Yeah, because he was getting so much bad publicity for it.
I think it was like an after the fact kind of thing.
But what makes it even more interesting that we saw right before we came in tonight, we saw that Pro Football Talk is saying there's a rumor out there that Tommy DeVito is now fired Sean Stellato over this.
Well, yeah, he's getting more famous than him. So, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
fuck that.
It looks like he hired a new agent, or what some people are saying is that they didn't hire a new agent. He hired they kept the agent, but they hired a marketing agent.
Side agent.
Yeah, basically like a marketing agent to handle these kinds of things, because maybe Sean Stellato is not prepped, or...
Dude, this is like my cousin Vinny.
Yeah,
it's like the same situation. He has no idea what he's doing. And all of a sudden, he's just famous. He's I don't know what to do. He has no idea how to be an agent, I don't think. I think this is just like he did it because they're friends or whatever, and he has no fucking clue what he's doing. And then he just got thrown into it. Such a my cousin Vinny plot.
It was like E leaving Sparrows to go manage Vince's career.
Yeah,
that's what this is right now.
That's what it seems like. That's 100% what it seems like.
But
it's just...
And now they got to bring in Ari to take care of
You lie on your resume and you still get the job kind of situation.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, guys, I'm going to make us all feel old in about a second, because currently, as we're filming the show, the Scooters... Recording, sorry.
There you go.
We're recording the show. The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl is taking place between University of Texas San Antonio and Marshall. Do you guys happen to know who the quarterbacks for the said teams are?
No.
Chad Pennington.
Owen McCown and Cole Pennington.
Yep. Pennington, yep.
Pennington and McCown. Another duo coming back up through the college ranks.
I'll give you one better. Did
great.
you see that Jerry Rice's kid declared for the NFL draft?
That's fantastic. If he could only be a portion of what his father is.
We're going to have a Harrison and a Rice playing wide receiver in the NFL next year.
Yeah, it's wild, and it looks like.
This is kind of aging us. Like, it really isn't good.
Yeah.
Like, we watched their dads play.
Yeah, we watched it. Like, I remember when your dad played.
Yeah, you weren't even. You were barely swimming around.
Yeah, you were still
running on the field.
You were still a twinkle in your daddy's eye when I was watching him play.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give you both permission if I ever use the term back in my day to put me out to pasture, please.
Could we just put you out the pasture regardless?
Yeah, just because like it's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's
cool. Just because like it's a slow Tuesday or something.
Just like if we have nothing to talk about on the show, we'll just bring you out back, shoot
we'll sacrifice Billy just to get people to download some
to get some
episodes.
viewers. Speaking of, make sure you download Fired Up Sports Radio wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, like you're listening to right now. That podcast.
Yeah, this one right now.
This is it.
This is it. Make sure you download it. Okay. Wise ass.
It's just funny because so just to take people behind the curtain a little bit. So every week we have this show, and then every week we discuss what's going to happen and what we did wrong and what we thought we did right and all that. And
that's going to be on Jeff's list.
And Joe
tomorrow.
just keeps acting as if we're a TV show. We're a podcast, man.
I'm so used to filming, and it's like, it's still.
You can see the filming part of it
on YouTube. Yeah, we're still it's week 6. I'm still getting. Listen, there's some growing pains, man.
I know. I'm waiting for you to just be like, all right, just take a look at this, and you're going to show something on the screen.
No, I stopped.
Realize that no one can see anything.
Truth be told, though, Joe's real dream is to leave us and replace Mayim Bialik on Jeopardy.
Yes, 100%. That's why she's no longer there. It's because they know that I'm coming. Yeah, so
I don't like that.
Now,
again,
you want to
if you're on
talk about a guy,
and that's what you heard.
It is not happening live, we promise. But speaking about a guy that wants to replace somebody, Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. What the hell is going on in Denver? Did you guys see this whole thing?
It's like Angels in the outfield, man.
He exploded on him on the sideline, and he's like...
Oh, you're talking about that. No, you're talking about how good Sean Payton was doing. Because he's another one. Not coach of the year, but like definitely gets a round of applause. He took that shit team and made him decent.
Another one of those average white boys.
Yeah. Another one I could put on the staff. Special teams.
Well, actually, I was just watching something courtesy of our good friend Jeff's favorite radio station.
Sal Licata.
No, it's not Sal. It's Evan.
Oh God!
So they had a discussion today, and I'd love to hear you.
He was the best part of that old regime. He really was, and he just turned into the shit that they've been giving us.
Yeah,
I can't listen to him anymore. He used to be so good, but now Beningo's doing the same thing. His old partner. He's going on these other podcasts, and he's acting like I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's not you. You can see how fake it is.
But the problem is, they only had one guy there that it was him, and it was Craig Carton. And when Craig left, Evan tried to become Craig Carton, and it's not working out for him.
No.
I feel like everybody tries to do that. Like, the only one I did was Gio, and I like Gio, but Gio defends Sal too much, and I fucking hate Sal. So, but now he's also jumping. He's another one trying to be like a Frank the Tank. It's like, you cannot be like these people. That is who he is. You're trying to portray someone that you're not.
There is
Frank
only
the
one
Tank
radio
is a
personality.
psychopath in real life.
There is only one
he
New
really
York.
Is.
He is, but there's only one New York radio personality that I can put in that category, and it's Dave Rothenberg, because that man is a maniac.
I don't mind him.
He stayed in a hotel for 2 days after the Giants lost a playoff game because he couldn't bear to be around his family. The man's out of his mind.
Yeah.
He's not horrible. I'll give you that.
No.
But like everything that's coming out of WFAN has been absolute shit. Every morning I used to wake up early, warm up show. I'd watch Boomer and G. I loved it. Now I can't even sit there for 2 minutes. Can't do it.
Well, now I'm gonna add to the pile of shit that you're talking about.
I'm all podcast now.
Yeah, the conversation was between Evan, Joe Beningo, and Tiki Barber. Was if you are the New York Jets, would you trade your first round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Mike Tomlin?
No.
Nope.
I don't think Mike Tomlin. I think after he goes, like, just retire, dude, and wait, like 2 or 3 years, like what everybody else does. All these coaches wait 2-3 years, and then someone will just bring your name up, and then all of a sudden you're going to make millions. It happened with Gruden. It happened with it could have happened with Cowher. He just kept saying, "Nah, I'm not going to do it." Not, but if the number is going to match up, he was going to do it. But that's what you got to do, man. Like if Mike Tomlin is that kind of coach where he can sit out for a couple of years and everybody's going to beg for him to come back.
I mean, listen, guy hasn't had a losing season ever.
My reason for saying
this
no
year
is
probably, but well, maybe not.
No, they're still in contention to not finish with a losing record. What are they? They're sitting at 7-7 right now. He always manages somehow. He just needs to win 2 of his last 3.
I want him to get just to keep going. That would be really cool. Like he's a good coach. He really is a good coach.
But I'll be honest with you. My reason for saying I wouldn't make that trade really is I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to be I don't think he's going to be the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think he's going anywhere.
I think he's going to be gone. I think Mike Tomlin's getting fired after the season.
I don't know. I think it's going to be mutually parted ways.
Yeah, but how do you know
he's got too much.
But guys, how do you put this on him?
He's got too much in Pittsburgh to just fire him.
You can't put it all on him, but it's time for a different voice there. There comes a time where it's just like, we have to change something, and that's the change that needs to be.
They've only had,
listen,
3 head coaches?
Yep.
The change has to come at the most important position, and that's the quarterback. Listen, they got it wrong with Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is not it. Obviously, Mitchell Trubisky's not it. Okay, they got it
like
wrong.
Kenny Pickett. I don't think Kenny Pickett's very good, but I like him.
But he's not. He is listening. He was the most
he's
obvious.
Better than a lot of other quarterbacks out there. Like I only trade him for a certain few.
The biggest knock on Tomlin, and this has been for years, back to the middle of Roethlisberger's career now, is Tomlin can't bring in the right offensive coordinator. So to me, if I'm the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm making the change, and I'm hiring Ben Johnson before anyone else does. And that's how I'm going to get my offense right.
I mean, listen, that's fine. But, Billy, right, we have to be smart about this. You could bring in whoever you want. It doesn't make a difference. If you don't have the right pieces in place, nothing's going to matter.
But how about
you don't have the main piece of your puzzle right now? You don't have correct. You don't have a quarterback that can stretch the field.
That's what I was just going to get to.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to get to. Tell you this right now. Ben Johnson drafts Bo Nix. There you go.
Yeah, listen, I don't hate it. I think
decline Pickett's option after the season. He's your backup for you. You let the two of them compete. Nix probably beats him out for the job out of training camp. Pickett's your backup for a year, and then you move on.
Yeah, I think that for them to mutually part ways with Tomlin, I think would be super slap in the face, because the guy has done nothing but win for you. And yeah, okay, I get it. It's all about the ring and so whatnot. But listen, Cowher was there for a very fucking long time without a ring, okay, and left with 2.
Yeah, but he can't get the offense right. That's my only knock on Tomlin. I respect the man. I like the man. He can't get the offense right.
He hasn't been able to get it right since Roethlisberger left. Because they had the quarterback.
The last couple of years of Roethlisberger, Roethlisberger hated the offensive coordinator. Like, it's been bad offensively there for a good 5-6 years now.
I got a question. Well, it's a question and a statement. So I didn't even realize that John Morant is even back.
Tonight's his first night back.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably why. I just saw him on TV, and anyway. Where do you think the guy who's in the stands tonight that just showed him? Where do you think he's going to land? Jaden Daniels. What team? I think in the Giants.
Nope. I think it's the Falcons at 10.
Yeah, you
I think if you look at the draft right now, the Falcons are the 10 pick. Clearly we know they're moving on from Desmond Ridder.
Did he declare already?
Yes.
He did. I think it's such a mistake.
But
I think it's such a mistake.
Him in the
Marvin
draft.
Harrison, I don't think has he declared yet? I don't think. He did.
Would you? He just got offered $25 million in NIL
Yeah,
money.
no.
Would you
No one's
declare?
no one's gonna want to leave college. You kidding me?
Yeah, these kids are going to stay till their 9th year eligibility.
No, but
Like me in high school.
Jaden Daniels to me doesn't make it past the Falcons.
Okay. No, I was just curious. 'Cause I saw him on here, and we were talking quarterbacks, and I didn't think I thought maybe the Giants would have been a good fit, but
I'm saying you still have Deontay, you still have Pickens. You have to get the quarterback right there. You have to get the offense right there. And if you could bring in Ben Johnson and draft a Bo Nix, that's your step right there. You got to make the move.
you need offensive-minded coaches now. A lot of teams
100%.
now that are winning are offensive-minded.
Well, you know what it is? It's Pittsburgh has always been about that defense. It's always been about that defense, and that's just what it is. It's like everyone. So they've won for so long with a vaunted defense that they really like. The offense is always, even with Roethlisberger there, the offense has always played second fiddle to the defense. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always been the steel curtain. There's always a nickname for the defense. There was never a nickname for the offense.
No.
But
the offense was good. Roethlisberger won Super Bowl. Like, the offense was good. It hasn't been good. Look how many, what was it, for 2 years before Roethlisberger retired, there were rumors that he was gonna because he hated the offensive coordinator. I mean, it's been bad there for years now. They got
the no offense name is that just hurt Mendenhall right there too. Good job, Joe.
No problem.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Destroying him brick by brick.
Yeah, listen, it is what it is. But
He didn't have a name.
You didn't even have a name. But like I'm looking. Listen, the surprise to me again, Jeff. We're going to get into it. I know it 100 times. I'm looking at every mock draft right now because I was curious about your question. About Jaden Daniels, and right now, no draft has Jaden Daniels falling past 7 currently to the New York Giants.
That's just I know that the Giants are going to look at a quarterback, and I just saw him on TV, and it just made me think I just pictured him in like blue. So I kind of thought maybe that'd be a good.
I personally think I still think it's a mistake for him to come out. Listen, I get he just won the Heisman. I understand that, but I just think that these kids are coming out way too early.
But you gotta worry about injuries too. Like some people fall in the draft because of injury.
No, listen, I get it. I just
lost
their
career because of that. So
I just don't. I don't see like that. To me, he's going to turn into Daniel Jones 2.0. Okay, because he's not his body size is not NFL. He's not built like an NFL quarterback. Like if I look at him, like he's not built like the quarterback that I would be wanting to run my offense. He's very thin. He's very slender.
You didn't want Anthony Richardson. That guy's a fucking brick shithouse.
Yeah, I know that. Well, because I didn't want him.
Chiseled from God.
No, I know that, but I didn't want him because he was too raw. Like I felt that the team in place that we were fortunate enough to have a top draft pick, but I didn't think that we were that far off. I still I still liked Will Levis. I mean, and Will Levis has been playing okay.
Okay, he's been doing better.
But I mean, he took a terrible hit the other day, and I think his season is over. But
there's been a lot of bad hits, man.
But did you see that Pittsburgh? Speaking of Pittsburgh, they suspended Kazi for the year.
Yeah,
for that hit on my boy. I mean,
that
was a bad hit.
That was really
how
bad.
He got up and walked off his. Magical.
That was a really bad hit. But I've been seeing hits like that like all year.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like I don't know where. Like, I don't remember ever seeing hits like. I mean, once in a while you'd see them. I'm seeing them way more often now. Like, I mean, they're just.
Yeah, but the part that doesn't make any sense to me, and again, whatever, is every draft still has Caleb Williams going number 1.
I'm telling you because he's good.
I just don't.
Here's the thing.
I just don't see it.
People
man.
get bored when they're too good.
I could see him being a first-round draft pick, but at this point, I feel like his production this year should have dropped him out of the top 10.
No.
I'll take Drake May over him.
Because you've seen what he can do.
I'll take Drake May over him.
All right. I think eventually in 5 years we'll find out who was right and who was wrong.
I think Drake May
could be both right.
Joe, you brought up the size of Jalen Williams.
More than likely.
You brought up Jalen Williams' size.
Right.
He's 6'4", 210.
He's a tiny little man.
CJ Stroud is 6'3", 218.
Again, you missed a big part of what I said.
Looks bigger in that blue uniform.
Jalen Hyatt does not look, if I am the New York Giants, okay, does not look like the quarterback I would be wanting to run that offense. The Giants quarterback should be someone stout, a big boy. That offense is not meant, listen to me, look at your most successful quarterback in the last 20 years. Was he 6'3" and 220 pounds?
Phil Simms?
No, the most mid quarterback on the history of the planet.
Here we
go. You know who I'm talking about.
I mean, the crazy thing is, there's not a lot of big. There's not a lot of big quarterbacks coming out this year.
No, because they're all dainty little bitches.
But a lot of them.
Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is 6'1", 216.
The big quarterbacks are kind of like played out now. I think they want like more athletic.
Bo Nix is 6'2", 216.
Yeah, they're all little. Eli Manning was 6'5", 220. It's a big boy. It's a big boy.
Yeah, but again,
Michael Penix is 6'3", 214.
And I think all these guys are going to get killed in the NFL.
Why?
Because
that's how quarterbacks are now. They're not 6'7".
But I hate this generation of quarterbacks. I hate this mobile shit. Like, I loved watching the Bradys, the Mannings, the guys that sat in the pocket and just fucking rifled it all over the field.
That's not football anymore, man. Like, things change. You got to adapt or die. That's what it comes down to.
I get it, but it seems to be that those quarterbacks still are the ones that are like, listen, Joe Burrow doesn't really escape the pocket. Like, he does when he has to. Just the same way Eli did, the same way Peyton did, the same way Brady did. But, like, nowadays, like, these quarterbacks, it's like first read's not there, boom, they're gone.
So basically the only quarterback Joe likes in this draft, and it's no shock because he just said he would take him with the number 1 pick, is Derek May, who's 6'4", 229.
It's Drake May, first off.
Drake May, excuse me.
Yeah, Derek's his brother, who's saying to bench Jalen Hurts. I like Drake May, man. I just
I think he has a big arm. He probably could be good. I'm not saying he's not. I've watched him play. He is pretty. He is very good.
When I look at him, he looks like an NFL quarterback.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it.
He just looks like an NFL quarterback.
I mean, this could be the 1-2 where they're, like I said, like we're both right, or
this could be Peyton Manning,
it could be
Ryan
Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota 1 and 2. You know, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
In the third round, the guy they pick in the third round, that's the guy. You know.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
That's the Pro Bowler.
So right now, let's see. Let's find a reputable one. Where's my boy?
Who do you want in the draft, Billy, for the Giants?
I mean, I think they gotta go for the quarterback.
Who are you picking?
If the top 2 are off the board,
yeah,
Jaden Daniels.
It's a good pick, man. I'm telling you, yeah. he's okay.
Yeah,
he's okay.
If the top two are off the board, that's the guy. I mean, and the crazy thing is, I'm looking at it right now, and saying for a kid at his age, putting on 10 pounds isn't a lot at all for a 22-year-old
Once you get to the NFL,
kid.
they help you with that.
No, but I'm just saying,
they
he puts on 10 pounds. He's 2 inches taller and the same weight as Patrick Mahomes.
So Billy, I'm going to give you two scenarios. Okay.
It does have an annoying wife too, so that's also positive.
Well, it's always a plus.
That we know of.
Scenario 1, with the 8th overall pick, the Giants select Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
Congratulations, yes. Scenario 2, the Giants select Olu Fashanu from Penn State, and in the second round, grab Bo Nix. Which one are you taking?
Door number 2.
100 times out of 100.
But I don't believe Bo Nix is still there in the second round because I don't believe
every draft I've seen thus far, every mock draft I've seen thus far, Bo Nix is not a first round, which is mind-boggling to me. But Bo Nix is not a first round draft pick.
I gotta be honest.
I think the lowest he falls, provided that all the other quarterbacks go where they're projected, is the Minnesota Vikings. I'll tell you one thing. If I can see him not being a first rounder, but whoever picks him in the second round, I feel got very good value.
100%.
If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can see him not being a first rounder. Like, that's not like that mind-boggling to me. It's just not. But whoever picks him in the second round, I think got crazy good value. Like, that's how I see it.
And listen, I'm looking at, so I'm on Mel Kiper's draft rankings, which he just dropped yesterday. And currently right now, notable players missing, Bo Nix is out of the top, the top 30 picks.
Who does Miami take? Tackle, hopefully, or guard.
It doesn't. So hold on, I got to look at it this way. Hold on.
We need a healthy line.
What pick does it say? What pick?
Jesus, they'll be between they've been a lot of drafts. They've been going between 26 to 28.
So it's weird. He for some reason he's only posting to the top 25.
Oh, son of a bitch! I'm right out of the top 5.
Let's see. Hold
guy.
on. Right, it's just terrible. Top 25. Let's see.
Just start saying numbers like Francesa. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
No, yeah, I'm trying to find one, but
and I gotta be honest. I think more realistic because I don't think Olufashinu goes out of. I think he goes in the top 5, and I think the Giants are right outside the top 5 at that point. But I'd still take Joe Alt and Bo Nix.
All right, so I got SI.com as their draft right now. The Dolphins sitting at 29.
Oh, that's a good year. That's a good year. All right, I'll take it.
Sitting at 29.
Well,
draft the offensive lineman out of Duke, Graham Barton.
that's what I need, man. They need offensive line so bad. They really do.
So here, I'm going to look at this right now, okay? And on this draft, Bo Nix does not go in the first round.
No, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at that right now as well.
I'm telling you, more and more drafts I'm seeing has Bo Nix. So like here, so on SI.com, they have the Giants taking Romeo Odunze, the wide receiver from Washington, with the 8th overall pick, which he's a playmaker.
So who are you going with a quarterback at that point? Like who?
Well, if that's the case, you're still. I listen. Right now, based on what I'm seeing for most drafts, with the exception of Caleb Williams, May, and Jaden Daniels, those are the only 3 quarterbacks going in the first round, which means in the second round, the Giants can go get Penix, Bo Nix. They could go get J.J. McCarthy. They can go get. It looks like what's his face from Texas might declare. Ewers. Okay, which
No,
if
he's
he does,
going back. Dude, that's
Yeah, I
the whole
think he's
big
going back.
Arch Manning thing right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't let Archie.
yeah. So
He'll just take those reins and run with it.
yeah. So so that
I hope he's so good. I really do. I hope he's so good.
So do I. Listen, I love the family. Well, not
I just
all
think it'd be
of
a
the
really
family.
cool story. Like
I love most
just to
of
have
the
those
family.
generations of quarterbacks, like and be like top, like elite. It'd be cool.
So
And
here
it's
we
the
go.
brother. I'm sorry, it's the brother that never played. That didn't play. Cooper, right? Is it Cooper?
Yeah.
Yes,
son?
yes.
It's Cooper's
And supposedly
kid.
Cooper was the best.
The quarterback's.
And
son,
supposedly
that's awesome.
Cooper was the best athlete of the three
Yes, I did.
till he
hear
got
that.
hurt.
I did hear that.
So SI.com, I just looked at it. They have a first 3-round mock draft. So they have the Giants taking the wide receiver from Washington, like I had mentioned. And to answer your question, Jeff, with the 8th overall pick in the second round, the New York Giants select quarterback J.J. McCarthy from the University of Michigan. And man, does that make a lot of sense.
Michigan, man. It's not bad.
So I want to just check out before I say.
This is actually going to be a really fun draft this year. Because it's like no
100%.
like big superstars, but like just to see like where these quarterbacks go, like Penix and like McCarthy, just to see where they go. Like it's kind of interesting to me.
JJ's another undersized guy, but he'll remind he's
Second coming of Brady. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's happening.
I'm telling you, this is that's who New England's going to end up with.
That would be awesome. I'm telling you, that would be not if they end up with him, but imagine he just came out like that would be pretty cool.
It's crazy. So second round, guys, starts with so let's see. Quarterbacks taken in the second round, according to SI. J.J. McCarthy would be the first quarterback off the board to the Giants at 39. Then at 46, Atlanta would take Bo Nix. Okay? 51, Tampa Bay Bucks would take Michael Penix Jr. And then that would be the end of the quarterbacks in the second round. And I do not believe I saw any taken in the third round. I could be wrong.
Here's a cool question, something to think about. Do you think any team will kind of do what the Redskins at the time did, which was draft 2 quarterbacks, one in the first round, one in the third round, or to be second, third. But what if? Can you see a team? I should say. Can you see a team drafting 2 of these quarterbacks that we always talk about?
I mean, that would be intriguing.
Like a Bo Nix and a Penix, or Jaden Daniels and J.J. McCarthy. Like, just draft 2 of them just to see what you got. And then
you'd have to see one of them would have to really fall because you're not going to do it back-to-back rounds 1 and 2.
No.
Now,
That's what I'm saying. I think Redskins did 1 and 3, right?
Yeah. It was like
something like that.
It was
That's
1
what
and
I'm
3,
saying.
1 and 4 when they did it with
Right.
It was
That's what I
RJ3.
meant,
Was that RJ3 they did it with?
RG3 and Kirk Cousins.
And Kirk Cousins, yep.
All right.
I used to know if you guys thought any team would do that.
And thankfully for them, they did do that because it worked. It worked out.
One team that should do is the Jets. One team who I can see doing it is Atlanta.
Yeah. So I mean, this goes back to a couple of weeks ago, guys. If you remember, there was some speculation coming out of that Chicago would think about possibly drafting Caleb Williams and still keeping Justin Fields and playing both of them. Which
That's not a bad idea. If you get the right coach in there.
Imagine lining up both of them in the backfield.
Yeah. Throw it, you're going to run it, and they both have arms. They can both run the ball. That would be pretty. It's actually a pretty cool idea. What do you do? How do you prepare?
Who do you draft in fantasy?
If you have imagine you had a 2 quarterback.
2 quarterback league, and you draft both quarterbacks from the same team. That would be. Listen, you're talking about thinking outside the box. That would be an
if you
first.
keep him, and let's just say Caleb Williams beats out Fields, okay? Then Fields is just kind of playing backup, and everyone always gets hurt. Quarterbacks always get hurt, and there's always going to be one. And what if that team? You know what I mean? Like then, boom, you're in. You have a starting job.
Yeah, I mean it's just wild. Like, do they treat him like a Taysom
win-win.
Hill?
No. Can he catch? You think he can catch? Because I would do that. I would make him a Taysom Hill.
No, he doesn't have the size. He doesn't have the size to do that.
Yeah, neither of them do really.
No, I mean, and that's a situation where if they honestly were dumb enough to do it, and if any organization could screw that up, it would be the Bears. But that's 1 year because he'd be out of there after that. And the thing is, why would you do it if you're not and get nothing then for Fields? You're going to destroy Fields' trade value. Go get some. If you're going to draft Caleb Williams,
I don't think you would. If a team like if let's say a quarterback goes down, let's say like the Bengals right now, but let's say it's obviously before the trade deadline. Let's say Burrow goes down or Herbert goes down or all of a sudden they call up Chicago, and Chicago, it's a win-win. He'll get a starting job somewhere, which is what he wants, and he doesn't want to be a backup. And they're going to be desperate for a quarterback.
If you're content with drafting Williams, why wouldn't you trade him somewhere like, say, we were just talking about Atlanta before the draft and get draft capital right there for him? Get more draft capital in this year's draft.
Because no one's in need of a quarterback like that. You know what I mean? Like
the Falcons
are.
The Falcons are wasting Kyle Pitts. They've started now wasting Bijan Robinson,
that's the biggest,
Drake London.
Team,
they have all the weapons right there where putting a Justin Fields in there makes them a playoff contender.
That team, it was funny. I was driving home the other day and I was thinking about it. That team has destroyed more talent than anybody. It's such a waste. They shouldn't be allowed to draft exciting players like that. It should just be like, no, you're not allowed to do that. You take them and you put them away and they suck. Like, no, it's not happening. Kyle Pitts, Bijan barely got used this week, but Bijan,
Drake London,
they had Calvin Ridley. Like, they get all these exciting players. And then you do nothing with it.
That's what I'm saying.
You just waste it.
I think a team like that would jump at a chance for a Justin Fields. And
they said no to Lamar. I don't know why he wanted to go there. He wanted to play. Imagine that team with Lamar Jackson as your quarterback.
I think it was more money. I think the money, for whatever reason. I'm not saying I agree with it. I think the money.
He decided, I'm going to keep Ritter. Give me a fucking break, man.
I think money was the reason there, and I think that now they see clearly they're benching him for the second time, that Ritter's not the answer. And I think they would jump at a chance to take Justin Fields, keep Ritter as a backup for another 2 years on his rookie deal, and be fine with it.
I'm waiting for a quarterback to get hurt. They'll be more desperate. They'll pay more.
But if you get a second-round pick for him this year, that gives you 4 picks in the top 2 rounds. You can rebuild whatever's broken there. You can fix it right then and there.
I will say, if I'm a Bears fan, I would have to trust Ryan Poles. He's made pretty much the right decisions to start. Like when they brought in Sweat, like who would have thought that would have changed that team? But their defense is great with him, and then they signed him to an extension. They're making the right moves. Like, whatever he's doing it correctly, and I think you just got to trust him. I think he's smart. I think he knows what he's doing right now.
If you could get 4 draft picks in the first 2 rounds, plus a quarterback back on the rookie deal to, again, now re-signing more talent, bringing in possibly more Montez Sweats, or another wide receiver to team with DJ Moore, look what you're building there on offense.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would just trust what Ryan Poles does. If he trades him in before the draft and gets the draft capital this year, then I trust him with that. If it's waiting till next year for a quarterback to go down, like the Jets, the Jets would have been a perfect team to try and get, for instance, if let's say this happens next year and Aaron Rodgers goes down, look, we're a quarterback away, or so they think. Justin Fields is there. He's a backup. We need to go get him, and then you could just take advantage of that the fact that they need a quarterback.
Yeah, but there's very few teams like, you know what it is? Like a team like, say, the Bengals, because Burrow gets hurt all the goddamn time. The Bengals aren't going to go out and pay that king's ransom when they have Joe Burrow coming back. The Chiefs wouldn't go out and pay that king's ransom with Patrick Mahomes coming back. You look like there'd have to be some very unique situations where, like Minnesota this year, that would have been the perfect situation because Cousins is a free agent after this year. That would have been the perfect situation for, say, a Justin Fields to come in and be like, oh, I'll go get him. Not that I don't know if you trade him to a division rival. Probably not, but I'm just using them as an example. The Falcons possibly might have been a great, Cleveland's not going to go out and trade for a Justin Fields when they got Deshaun Watson making all, they're going to wait for
they got
Deshaun.
Joe Flacco, baby.
Yeah,
Elite Joe Flacco.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not going to come. It's very unique situations or something like that, where if you trade him before the season, and again, you don't want to deal with, because let's be real, Justin Fields ain't reporting to training camp if you draft Caleb Williams. Like, the holdout's going to start. All the crap's going to come in. You're better off making the move, striking while the iron's hot, so to speak.
Maybe. I don't know how the kid is. I mean, he might be. Maybe he's very competitive, and I'll beat you out. That's it. I don't really know. This way, it's obviously they're gonna. If they
get
draft
it, but by
Caleb Williams, they're gonna go with him. But
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I get what you're saying, and I'd love to see it. But if he knows if they're drafting him with the number 1 pick, that's their future right there. You're not the future anymore. You're done there. You might get one more year out of it, but you're done there.
All right, so I got a real important question for you guys. Ryan Tannehill or Bryce Young this week? Fantasy playoffs.
Tannehill, I can't say I would stop Bryce Young anywhere.
wait,
Jeff?
Tannehill's
going to be starting. Levis.
Is he?
Levis
I guess Levis is really that.
Levis sprained his ankle. He's unlikely to start. So it's going to be Tannehill going against Seattle. I'm sorry, I have 3 options. I have Tannehill going against Seattle. I have Bryce Young, or have Taylor Heineke versus.
I'd probably go Heineke.
Or versus Indianapolis.
Well, it's against your team. It's going to be tough to root for that.
It's in Atlanta.
I'd go with Heineke, actually.
I'd probably go Heineke.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd probably go Heineke.
Yep.
Only because it's not that I don't trust Tannehill, but when you have Derrick Henry, like, you just keep handing the ball off to him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're going to do much there, but
even though it's Bryce
Heineke,
Young versus
and then
Green Bay,
Bryce
right?
Young, I think he's just absolute garbage. I don't think he's very good at all. I would probably go Heineke. More weapons.
Just curious. Yeah, I'm over here doing.
I went with
Guys,
Trevor Lawrence
I'm doing my claims.
because I didn't know if Hurts was going to play.
We got to ask the question. We're an hour and 28 minutes into this, and the name hasn't been said yet. We got to turn the tables. We got to ask the question. Where the fuck is Yamamoto going?
I actually, at this point, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm all.
I could care less. I think like this is a big.
I'm kind of Yamamoto'd out. Let's pick a team, guy. Enough's enough now. I've had enough of this stuff. Let's just pick a team, or at least I don't want to keep hearing about. If I hear about another fucking meeting, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Just be like, just come out and say. Although I don't really trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. Look what happened with Ohtani. He was in
This is
Toronto.
legitimately holding free agency hostage.
It is.
We have a hostage situation on our hands.
And what's annoying to me, Jeff, you're right. I'm Yamamoto'd out. And I think why
Yamamoto fatigue.
Yeah, and I think the reason we have this would have been okay and this would have been cool if Ohtani just didn't do the same shit for 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
And it's back to back.
Japanese players, man.
It's just
the arrogance of them.
It's just guys,
Yeesh.
come on, enough is enough. Just pick a fucking team. Let's go. And I'll be honest with you, at this point, the
I don't even care where it goes at this point.
I could honestly give two shits because
I'll be very happy if he comes to Queens, but if he does, I'll be like, oh, whatever. I just don't care anymore. I just don't.
Because you know what it is, you could tell too. Like you turn on MLB Network, and these guys, just like us coming into this show, we had no fucking clue what we were going to talk about because it's just like, guys, how many times can we keep beating the same horse till it's dead? Like. You keep reporting the same thing, but spinning the words. Like now, today's report is...
I don't believe anything, though.
Yamamoto doesn't want to play, wants to play in a big city, but he feels like he's already played for the little brother in Japan, so he doesn't want to play for the little brother in the MLB. So, was that a shot at the Mets? Because how everyone says, the Mets are like the little brother of the Yankees in New York.
Yankee fans say that. Not
Whatever.
Everybody. Yankees fans, they say that.
Well, whatever. But but what I'm trying to say is you knew exactly where I was going with it. When you hear little brother,
all right. So, yeah, I don't honestly, I don't believe anything that comes out. I don't believe anything. Because 1 minute he went to San Fran and Boston and took a meeting in Boston. They both gave him $300 million offers. And then it comes out that the Boston's never even given them an offer, and he never even went to Boston. He was in San Francisco and told them, "Thanks, I'll keep you in consideration." They didn't offer him anything. Nobody has offered money, but apparently they offered $300 million. This is
supposedly the offer started today.
None of this.
Yeah, apparently money wasn't even discussed yet.
Right, but every report's saying that it was discussed. So that's what I'm saying. I don't believe anything. I don't trust and I do not believe anything. There was a report that he went to Yamamoto went to Steve Cohen's house and they had a 15-minute meeting, and then they went to to see the Yankees after. A 15-minute meeting, or the other time they were having dinner. I don't trust any of it. I don't. No. I think everybody's just making shit up because nothing is getting leaked.
Fair enough. Because sorry, real quick, Billy. Because then to your point where you said they went to Steve Cohen's house, and then the reports came out that the Yankees were looking for a translator, and they requested the meeting, and then 2 minutes later, the report was Yamamoto asked for the Yankees to meet with them again,
and then it was all a big clusterfuck. But then after that, it says no one requested anything. This was set up. This was the Mets and then the Yankees, and then he was going back out west. I don't trust any of it. There's been so many different stories and so many different it depends on who you want to listen to. Andy Martino. Andy Martino is a Yankee fucking jerk off. That's what he does. He blows himself to the Yankees. So he's going to be more pro Yankee. Heyman is going to be more pro Yankee because that's just what he does. And then if you listen to, if you read anything else, this guy says it's the Mets because he's a Met beat writer, and this guy says, I don't think any of this shit's true. I just think they're making things up. I don't think anybody has any clue. Because
fair enough.
But then also there was a report that Ohtani said, "Don't talk about anything. I'm going to hold it against you." And then his agent came out and says that we never said that. That was completely a made up thing, and that's just the way it was.
There's way too much crap out there these days. I agree with you. But here's a question where, for your opinion, who do you want to see be your plan B if you don't get him?
Honestly, punt to next year. The class next year, I think I would save all that money to get more players next year, because after Yamamoto, you have Snell, who's going to be overpaid, Montgomery, who's probably going to be overpaid if we're being real, and that's what it is. I don't
not even any of the trade options, Cease, Bieber, none of them.
No, because the Mets already came out and said that they're not trading any of their young guys for a 1-year rental, and I don't think
Cease has
Dylan
two
Cease.
left.
Well, yeah, but the problem is with Dylan Cease is the asking price is astronomical.
Well,
I wouldn't do that.
To piggyback off of
that. Well, I was just gonna say my plan B would be to just get whoever you have to get this year, just kind of build a team, or do what you gotta do with that. But next year's free agent class, that's where you spend the money because that's where the good money is going to be. Not this year.
Well, that's
This year was just
piggyback off
fun
of
because of Ohtani. That was really it.
Yeah,
and that sucked.
Next year's starting pitching class, you have Garrett Cole pending an opt-out. Justin Verlander, vesting option. Max Scherzer, Corbin Burns, Zach Wheeler, Brandon Woodruff, Max Fried, Shane Bieber, Walker Buehler, Nathan Eovaldi, Chris Sale, Robbie Ray, Alex Cobb, Kyle Hendricks, Charlie Morton, Freddie Peralta,
so many more people.
Merrill Kelly, Michael Wacha, and then it's just like, whatever. Then you get the Severinos, Flaherty's, Kikuchis.
That class that's a good class.
Yeah, and it's heavy. It's heavy pitching. I mean, next year
That's why I would punt to next year.
So the next year on the hitting side, as presently constituted, there's really no catchers that really jump out at you. First baseman, all are going to assume are going to be re-signed because it's going to be Goldschmidt, Pete Alonso, Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah.
Second baseman, it's Jose Altuve, Gleyber Torres. Third base is Alex Bregman. Shortstop, no one to write home about. The outfield is where you're gonna, the two of the three biggest outfielders are both Yankees, and that's Soto and Verdugo. And then if the White Sox decide to pick up the option or not on Eloy Jimenez. So next year's class has definitely got some.
That's where you don't want to spend money. You're not gonna. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like if you get Yamamoto, let's just go for it. Because if you're not signing for 1 year, you're signing for the future. And if I'm Steve Cohen and I'm, David Stearns, I'm kind of selling the point. Not only can we give you the most amount of money from any of these teams, but look at this is our farm system. This is who you're going to be playing with and playing behind you for the next decade. And all those guys are pretty close, man, and they're not too far off between AA, AAA. Like they're another year or two away. So not only can you just blow them out of the water with money, and you can show them like, okay, we have Pete Alonso, we have, Jeff McNeil, we have, Ronnie Mauricio, whatever. Lindor's over here. Not only are you going to have those guys, but this is who you're going to be playing with for the next 10 to 15 years. This group of guys. But again, that's how I would do it if I was going to try and sell him to come to me. But if he's not going to sign, he's going to sign with the Yankees or sign with the Dodgers. And by the way, it's the only other teams that are involved with this. It's 3. Don't listen to anything else.
Yeah, I never thought there was going to be anyone else.
No, there is nobody else. Everyone else is a pawn. Like they're getting used. But that's how I would sell it. But if you're not going to get Yamamoto this year and he goes somewhere else, he goes to the Bronx or he goes to LA, then wait till next year.
But
just
Jeff, I got to be honest, and you're not going to like what I have to say right now.
You're going to say trade Pete Alonso.
No. The Mets' selling point is money and money only. Because if it comes down to those 3 teams...
So they have a top 4 farm system. You're signing him for 10 years. You're not 12 years. You're not signing him for a year.
I still can point to the guys on the Yankees and the Dodgers and like them better. I'm still pointing at both of those rosters and saying, do you want to play with that? You want to play with this? And I think
Yankees
the Mets,
roster. Do you think the Yankees roster is something to jerk off about?
Keeping Soto. If you have Soto, you have Aaron Judge.
But you're not keeping Soto right now. Like right now, that's a possibility. You can't guarantee that.
You can say the same thing about Pete Alonso. He's not signed yet.
Billy,
you can say this.
Pick and be like, oh no, we're going to sign him. No, let's just say you don't.
Okay, but you
want to play with Judge and then play with Judge, and then there's Garrett Cole. He's pretty cool. Judge, then who else? You don't have anybody.
Jason Dominguez, the Rookie of the Year, the Cy Young Award winner.
Dominguez is okay, but
Spencer Jones is coming up.
But we don't. These are all question marks. That's what I'm saying. Like you can just sell him on that if you try.
I mean, but Jeff, you just did the same thing.
You just did the same thing with the Mets prospects.
Are you guys fucking deaf? I just said, and that's what I was doing, was showing you can only do that. That's what I said. You could try that, but in reality, you look at the top 4 farm system or the top 20th farm system, I'm probably going to go with that one. I'm going to go with the 4th, if it's me. But that's what you have to sell them on.
And then you look at the Dodgers. I mean, it's really hard to compete with the Dodgers. You're going to come in here for the next decade and play with Ohtani. You're going to play 3/4 of it with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. Like, there's a lot there to offer when it comes to that.
but they're also older. Those are old dudes. Mookie Betts ain't getting younger. Freddie Freeman ain't getting younger. You got a window now. You got a window. And then Ohtani, I mean, he's not going to pitch this year, but who knows, man? His elbow blew up twice.
No, it's definitely going to be an interesting.
That's why I just want this fucking guy to sign already. Just drive me fucking insane. Just let's go. What are we doing?
Yeah, no, it's I was just looking at it. It's crazy how still after how many of them came up last year, guys, the scariest team over the next 10 years
Baltimore
is the Baltimore fucking Orioles.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, like, I just looked at.
If they get pitching, that's going to be a dominant team.
Bro, that is sick.
They just need some pitching.
They still
I don't know why did they expect Flaherty?
I
Also,
don't know.
good move by you going to Detroit. Real smart. Real good.
Yeah.
Bet you get thrilled about that.
So you still got Jackson Holliday, Colton Cowser, Colby Mayo.
And he might be up this year.
Heston Kjerstad. Like these kids, Bleacher Report basically did a breakdown 4 days ago of all of the, the minor league farm systems.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Baltimore was ranked number 1. And what they did was they took everyone's top 10 minor leaguers and tiered them. Baltimore, out of their top 10, 7 of the 10 are tier 1 farm system players.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Like it's sick. Like
but
this
you
is.
gotta remember that was years of being terrible.
I mean, but
terrible.
But you know what? But guys, you can be. Listen, we know a lot of teams that have been terrible for a very long time, but didn't know how to build a farm system. They were terrible, but they were making the right picks. They were making the right moves.
I mean, I got to be honest. They're probably the best farm system I've seen since the Washington Nationals a couple of years back when you had Strasburg, Harper, Trey Turner, Juan Soto come out of that farm system.
It's crazy. So just to round out, so obviously Orioles coming at 1, the Chicago Cubs number 2 with former Met leading their farm system, Mr. Pete Crow Armstrong. 3 was the Boston Red Sox, 4 the New York Mets, 5 the Texas Rangers, 6 the Milwaukee Brewers, 7 the never-ending Tampa Bay Rays, 8 the Detroit Tigers, 9 Seattle Mariners, and to round out the top 10, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
They give up all their assets, and they still are in top 10 every single year.
Well, I mean, so just in comparison to Baltimore, only 3 of the top 10 for the Dodgers are tier 1 are tier 1s.
But once they make it to the major leagues, they'll be tier 1s. It's just the way they do it.
Do you also see the other thing with the Dodgers though? They're talking about come August, September, you might see Shohei Ohtani in left field.
Yeah, so
once the elbow is ready to start throwing, he may start playing the outfield. And you know what would be like a Dodger move? Say the Phillies fall out of contention. Watch the Phillies go out and trade Kyle Schwarber to the Dodgers, and he goes into the DH hole and Ohtani goes into left field. That would be such a Dodger move to pull off.
I mean, how much money can they keep fucking printing?
I mean, but he's a free agent after this year, so it would be like legitimately.
No, I know, but they're still going to give up something. I mean, they can't just say, by the way, here's Kyle Schwarber. That's just, I don't know. That's just crazy. But Jeff, really quickly, before you mentioned one Ja Morant and his comeback, and would it not surprise you that Ja Morant wins the game-winning basket? That's, welcome back, Ja Morant, to the NBA. NBA's holiday is coming up. We'll recap that a little bit next week on the show because Christmas is their holiday, so we'll go over that. That's really about it, guys. I think we made it through another episode. We survived.
I can't wait to go watch Hard Knocks.
Yes, it's.
Dude, Mike McDaniel is a treat.
Oh, he absolutely is.
He is
that
so
man is
funny.
a gift. He is a
He
gift.
is so funny. I love this guy. He is like made for TV too. Like he's
Yeah. Did you see? Oh, you'll see it. I don't
Miami
want to.
Mike.
I don't want to ruin it for you, but there is a clip that you'll appreciate when he's referring to the Jets defense at some point during the game. It was actually.
what,
All right,
though?
I'm gonna be sure to watch that.
Yeah.
Joe, I said this to you earlier today, and you still stand by it, calling it the NBA's holiday. The NFL is taking over because there are 3 NFL games on Christmas Day. We have a 1, a 4:30, and an 8:15 on Christmas Day.
It's still the NBA's holiday.
Guarantee every one of those games beats the other NBA game in that time slot. Ratings wise.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got Kansas. You got Kansas City playing at 1:00. You got the Giants and Eagles at 4:30, and at 8:15 you got Baltimore and the 49ers.
That's some game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's some game.
The
That's a
NFL
lot.
is putting their stamp on Christmas. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, it's just 1 year. It
It's
is
only
what
because it's falling on this.
Yeah,
day.
it happens.
That's-
But
every
other-
seventh year. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're fucking
Every
winning.
7th
We're
year.
winning those ratings. Fucking A.
But no, they're gonna win it back to no. That's it. Because this year Christmas Eve is on. Yeah, that'll be it. Because next
But
year
it wouldn't shock me for Goodell to try and just weasel his way to get in a every Thanksgiving every year, even though it's on a Thursday. But I can see him weaseling his way to being like, no, we need a Christmas game and just take all the shine.
Hey, listen, they got a Black Friday. They got a Black Friday game.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm noticing? I'm noticing here, and it's probably because the game is so bad. Sunday Night Football isn't even on NBC this week. It's on the NFL Network. And of all things, on Christmas Eve, when the bait clams are on the table, New England and Denver. Who the fuck wants to watch that?
I mean,
People in Denver.
I like to gamble, so
Exactly.
I will watch anything I can put money on. I don't
Look,
care.
listen,
I have to make if the game's not going to be fun, you have to make it fun. Make it interesting. That's what you have to do.
Listen, there.
I don't, but I agree, I understand. But how do you not flex that game? Like you have Dallas at
I think
Miami.
it was too late. I think it
You
was
have
too.
Dallas
not
at
bad.
Dallas
Are
at
we in
Miami.
flex
should've been-
season? We're not in flex
Yeah,
season yet.
yes,
are
we are.
Yeah,
We are.
Yeah.
They flexed the Monday night game out. First time ever the Monday night game was flexed out last night. Because last night was supposed to be New England, Kansas City, and it was flexed out for Philadelphia. And you said, hold on, Billy, if we go back a couple episodes and I'll find the clip, the NFL will never, ever flex out Patrick Mahomes. Well, guess what? They flexed Patrick Mahomes out of Monday Night Football.
I don't understand how they didn't flex the Dallas-Miami game to Sunday night on Christmas
Because
Eve.
it's Christmas
I
Eve.
don't get it.
Because
Yeah,
it's Christmas
me too.
Eve. Because it's Christmas Eve. I'm telling you, the day plays into a part. I have a feeling that they don't care about the New England-Denver game because they have a feeling that most people are going to be enjoying their Christmas Eve, doing whatever they normally do on that, and football is not going to be.
Yeah, they're all going to be drunk just to watch that game.
Yeah, so
It's actually brilliant. It's actually brilliant.
they figure all.
You'll be so drunk you don't realize how terrible that game is.
Yeah, and listen, it is what it is. Listen, there's really only 2 games this weekend, guys. It's the Cowboys, Dolphins, and
Fraud Bowl.
the Fraud Bowl, and then the 49ers, Ravens. Those are the only 2 games that really are worth the fuck this week.
Yeah, if Miami wins and San Fran does San Fran things, I'm going to be a happy dude. I'm going to be a happy guy.
Jeff's Christmas miracle.
It really will be. It
Well, on
really,
that
really
note,
will be.
boys, I think we
That-
wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
This is the holiday edition that we did, right?
This is
Absolutely.
this is the holiday edition. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone from us here at Fired Up Sports. We look forward to seeing you or speaking and listening to you all next week. I will get it one day. I will get it one day. All right. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Fired Up Sports Radio. For myself and the guys, we're out of here.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
See ya.